Now we're moving on to our second look of the studio shoot, and originally I had actually planned to have this as our primary colors. So we have a blue jacket, we have a yellow dress, and we were sticking with our red backdrop to make things simple. And by the way, nothing has changed in the lighting setup thus far. Everything is the same. We're gonna see how this looks in that scenario, and then we'll make some changes if we need to. When Trudy came and she showed me what she had got for clothes, I had given her some ideas about color blocking, and that was kind of the theme for the shoot. She had pulled these awesome green tights, and I was like, man, those are great, but they don't quite fit into my color scheme that I had in my head. So what I think we can do here is we can cheat this a little bit in post. So we've got our green and our red, and those are complementary colors, and we have yellow. And what we can do is we can take our blue coat and we can make it a little bit more purple in post, and those are gonna be complementary colors. So now we've actually got a quadratic color harmony scheme here where our two complements are equidistant and opposite on the color wheel. So we're gonna run with that, see how it goes. Cool. Sounds good. I'm keeping this red gel on for now. I'm guessing it's probably going to do some wonky things that I won't love off the bat, but let's see what it looks like and go from there. So let's take a look at this real quick. I forgot to mention her white shoes, which are a neutral in here, which is a nice way to add a little bit of separation between the seamless on the ground and the leggings. And when we add in a neutral, we're not really messing with the existing color scheme. So if we take a look at our image here, I think the blue looks really nice. The yellow looks nice where we've got our key light hitting, but it starts to get into this orange, you know, so red plus yellow equals orange. And then our stockings down here are starting to gray out because we've got complementary colors with the red and the green, and mixing together, it's gonna get muddled, it's not gonna look great, and we're not getting that really great saturation that I can see in person. And our neutrals are just, our white is turning to pink, which is something that we don't really want here. So what I'm gonna do is switch the red gel with the yellow and see how that looks. I'm just gonna pick another color that's in the color scheme here. I'm gonna throw it on the light and we're gonna see what it looks like and go from there. Okay, let's try that real quick. All right, taking a look here again. So a really different look if we go quickly back and forth between one and another. This is gonna have a really different look to it. So our yellow is very yellow. Our blue still looks pretty saturated, it's not bad. Our green is getting more yellow thrown at it, and that's just gonna make it a bit more green, and it's gonna pop, and that looks pretty good. Our shoes are turning this not so pleasant shade of yellow. And then we're also getting a good amount of yellow in the skin tone too, which I'm not sure I love, but you're seeing the difference between the two. Let's swap this out one more time and go for a CTB. And I do this all the time. I'm like, I'll put a gel on the light and be like, that just looks terrible, and take it off, and I'll swap it up and find something else. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think the key is to sort of observe your existing color palette and say, okay, is there something I can grab from there and I can pull out and I can use for a gel color to sort of tie everything together? And that's kind of what we're doing here. I have a feeling I know how this is going to end up, but we'll see how this looks.
Yeah.
Thank you. So going back here. All right, so our yellow is not looking nearly as marigold as it looks in person. It actually kind of made it a little bit more pastel and a little bit more dull. Our green is not as vibrant as I'm seeing in person. The shoes actually look pretty normal here, and that blue in the jacket looks great. But she also has this really nice warm skin tone, and that's just kind of washing it out here. So what I'm gonna do, if I can have Matt back one more time. I'm just gonna take this off entirely and we're gonna see what that looks like. Third time's the charm. Fourth time's the charm? Fourth. Okay, so now we're getting colors that are pretty true to form here. We're maintaining the saturation in the green. That yellow is still looking a little bit brighter than what I'm seeing in person, but I think that's just due to the intensity of the key light here. So we could bring that down. Let's throw a half CTO on the key light. So this is hopefully going to give it a little bit of a soft orange glow. It's going to make the marigold in there pop a little bit. It's going to make your skin feel a little bit warmer. But because it's just on the key light here, it's really going to affect our highlights, and this is going to remain pretty neutral. So let's check this out. Perfect. Okay, so I think this is a quarter CTO on our key, and it was just a little bit, but you can see a subtle difference here in our yellow dress. Here to here, it's making it a little bit yellow, more yellow, a little bit warm, and same in her skin tone. She has this really nice, beautiful, warm skin tone here, and it's a little bit cooler here. In terms of leggings, we're getting a little bit more yellow in them, but otherwise it's pretty subtle. And the fall off is such that we're not really hitting her feet too much with this, so our neutrals are gonna stay pretty neutral. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get a couple frames. And because we're talking about color blocking here and everything is kind of mod and playful, I wanna go a little bit more playful with the posing. So maybe a little bit more action, a little movement. We can kind of rock up on a heel here, play with the jacket, just have fun with it. And this is more of a fashion look too. We've sort of stripped away the conceptual aspects, so we're really just kind of focusing on the color here. How about a little like a little hop to the side? You're an excellent hopper. Can you toss that coat back at all without it feeling really weird?
What do you mean?
Like kind of giving it, I want some volume on the back of the coat. Yeah, but sideways. So you're gonna kind of face that way. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, what you just did, just kind of like tossing it back like that.
Ready?
Yeah. And can you do that one more time and like someone over there is calling your name and you're like, who, me? Yeah, me? Exactly. It's just so nonchalant. Gorgeous. And let's do one more where you're kind of just like standing straight forward and like a little just kind of straight up hop.
Oh, up?
Yeah. And you can even do like a little like boop boopy doo thing.
Okay.
Is that even a thing?
Yeah,
you know what I
like
mean? With like,
yeah,
let's play around with that.
ready?
Okay, ready. Let's see. Ready. I'm just going to take a peek through what we have thus far. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I love that. That's great. And that's like very commercial look. It's like catalog, but with some sass to it. Yeah. Cool. So one more plot twist here, guys. We've got some awesome orange fish earrings in here, too, that we wanted to use. And when we add this, obviously we're introducing a new color, and we're not really conforming to our quadratic color scheme anymore. I think they're cute. I think they're a nice little accent color, and it's not going to mess with this scheme too much. But if you wanted to and you were trying to be really diligent about maintaining that color harmony, we've basically got all of our primary colors here. We have blue, we have yellow, we have red, and we have our secondary colors, green and orange. And maybe what we could do is we could change the lip up, and maybe the lip is now a purple lip, or we add a purple belt, and that's going to complete all of our secondary colors. And then we'll have sort of this double triadic color scheme. So remember how I said earlier, talking about mixing and matching different color harmonies. This is a way that we can do that here. So I'm just going to grab a couple shots with the orange earrings in and play around with that and get a couple shots and call it a day. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Cool. Now, if you could just do a back handspring,
Oh, yeah.
be perfect. Let's play around with that coat a bit more and kind of show that off.
Like on or off? Like play with it on or play with it a little off?
Surprise me.
Play with it.
Surprise
Play
me.
with your freaking coat,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Okay.
You'll probably notice that I'm kind of hands-off when it comes to a lot of things. Posing, Anna's a great model. She takes direction well, but she also knows her stuff, so I don't really need to give her a lot of direction, especially for a fashion shoot, which is something that she's accustomed to. For the conceptual stuff, we were trying to work into more of a specific kind of vibe. So that's when I'll step in and I'll direct a little bit more if I have something really particular in mind. But otherwise, I kind of like to work with the vibe of the model and let them sort of do their thing and not interfere with that. Same thing goes for styling and hair and makeup. You know, I work with people that I trust, and it's so important for that trust to be there, because then I can just let them do their thing. They love to do it. They have creative freedom, and then I can just trust them and know it's going to look great no matter what. So let's do a couple more. Let's do that one more time where you're just kind of stepping up towards camera and like kick that back leg up a little bit. Awesome. Cool. Let me take a peek. Ultimately, this exercise here is about color blocking. It's about playing with really saturated colors, and it's about finding a way to best showcase those colors in a studio setting, whether it's adding gel or taking away gels. I mean, the fill gel is really great for a monochromatic or even an analogous color scheme, because you sort of want all of these colors to blend together, and they're going to look really well that way. But this, we have such diversity in the color that we want everything to remain authentic and really strong in and of itself. So you can't use one gel and put a wash over everything, because then other colors are going to start to look muddled, and it's just not going to work. But just adding a little bit of that warmth too isn't going to affect the whole scene, but it's just going to add a little bit more into the yellow dress, into her skin tone, to make that pop without affecting the integrity of everything else. Okay, so looking through our images here, I mean, I think everything looks really great. The pose looks really great. We talked before in styling about maybe kind of tweaking the color of our jacket here. and making it a little bit more purple to complete that quadratic color harmony. A couple other things that I see here that I might want to tweak is really just bring up the saturation of everything. It doesn't look quite as saturated, I think, as the rest of the clothes here. The green looks a little bit less saturated as well. So I might play around with bumping up saturation there and kind of tweaking that and making sure that everything has the same level of intensity and vibrancy. But again, you know, we've got all of this great color on set, on location, and we've done a lot of that work in pre-production and planning. So when we take it into post, we're not going to have to do too much.